Hello everyone. This month's mental health topic is never fight alone. Uh, Dealing with mental health. Um, so uh, so in case some of you are like wondering, why this topic for suicide prevention month. Well, to be like honest, I've already done previous videos on suicide prevention and 22 a day. Which I will include direct video links for at the end of this video, as the end it credits it come to a close. But but being like honest, like I really wanted to do more of an um like open, like ended topic, where like that I highlight or mention some key points, that may be helpful um to those who are fighting in eternal battles, like or similar to myself. And so like I felt that I needed to do like a topic where like it's not traditionally structured, as I've started to do more structured monthly mental health topic videos. um and then like I also felt that it was like extremely important that I speak directly from my heart, this month, while still being supportive and staying true to that safe and judgment free space, which is what that I try to do here, like on this channel, as much as possible, in part because, like, if you're already going through a lot, you already like dealing like with a lot, it's like we need to have like a safe space, just open up, and so like talk about things, and to not like wonder, if somebody's going to judge us, for the things that we are trying to like work through, or are trying to manage, or cope, or deal with, like period. So the first of two questions, that come to mind, when I initially think about this topic, you know, is what does it mean to never fight alone? Um, so before that I get into that, like I want to state, that's an important, you know, that we understand, you know, that though the journey may be may I feel it's important that we understand that though the journey may be difficult, we must not lose hope. Like we must not lose sight of hope. Um, you know, so diving into the question, um, for me, what that means, is that you know that I engage, with my support system, that I talk to them, when I'm having like a rough day, and that I'm having like a difficult time trying to manage things, trying to use, like my skills from my toolbox, like mindfulness, um, like the senses, like like in other grounding techniques, and and that I like notice, that it's like I'm riding like this roller coaster, and it doesn't seem like things are going to like ease up, like I'm gonna be like honest, like it's hard to deal with like a lot of the like internal stuff, like alone. It's like it's like we cannot let fear of like asking for help, or fear of like what if like it doesn't work out, what if that they say that they can't help me, like what if they don't want to help me, like we have to let go of like all that, and just like take like the leap of faith, like do like that the next artist thing, take that initial step, one, like admit that something is like wrong, like there is something that's like bothering us, there's something that's like going on, that there's something that we are having like a difficulty, that we're having like a difficulty like trying to like navigate or to manage like on our own, so for me, like that's what like not like fighting like alone like means, it's like that we engage with like someone else, like whether that be like a friend, like a battle buddy, like a family member, like a support group, like a life skills group, whether we um talk to like uh uh like a prayer team, whether like we the depending on what our faith is, what our view on it is, like if we, um, choose, to talk, to God, like about like what we're going through, like what we're like dealing with, and just like um trying to like let those like emotions like out, like instead of like keeping them in, like instead of trying to deal with everything like on our own. So the second and last question, that like initially like comes to mind, when I think about this topic is what does it mean to deal with mental health? Um, so just like the previous question, like I want to make an initial statement first. That it's important that we understand, you know, that the day to day struggles vary from one individual to the next, and thus the treatment, or should I say, the management and our coping plan won't look the same for like everyone. Um, so now I'm diving into the question. Dealing with like a mental health, like it can look like a lot of different things. It could look like um trying to find like that one thing, that can calm us down, that can bring us like out of the like our rabbit hole, like bring us out of the abyss, like in an effective way, like in like a healthy way. Um, like whether or not we go to like the therapy group of some sort, like whether or not we talk to uh, a therapist who specializes in certain things, like whether that be trauma based, whether that be learning to manage like emotions, and process like emotions. Um, like whether that's us keeping like uh, j- at a at a at a at a journal, like whether that looks like someone who does like briefings or gives like talks, to like other like into like visuals, to give them like a sense of well a sense of hope, you know whether that means that that we take time, to like take care of like our own selves, you know, because it's an important like also to actually like understand and to grasp that we cannot begin to help anyone else until we take care of ourselves. You know, um, and like, that looks different for like each like into like a visual. You know, um, I mean, it could be like creating like inspirational merch. You know, it could be trying to partner like with someone or doing things to bring more like awareness to uh different things. Being like an advocate. Like being like a voice for like others. Writing like a memoir, to basically to help get everything that we've kept like built in for like so long, just like let it like out, you know, but like I think that there's like a lot that goes like into that, because somebody may have just like one symptom, and then someone else may have like multiple symptoms, so I mean that's why that it looks different, from one person to the next, like in terms of trying to deal and to manage things, you know, like it's important, that we have like a safe space, like somewhere that we feel safe, you know. Um, I mean, it's like I think that is one of the like big ones. I think that's like up there, like right along with like self care. You know, um, and learning grounding techniques. And like learning what not to do like in a certain like moments, like going against what our mind is trying to tell us, if the thing that it's trying to convince us to do is going to make things like worse. um to be honest, like it's a lot. Like there's like a lot of things, that I could name. There's probably like a lot of things that I did not mention, you know, but as I said in the like introduction, I truly wanted to like speak from the heart, like on this, and instead of just going off of like said script that I written out, it's like I want to say like all of these like things, and then go to the next part. Well, I mean, with everything that I've been through, and I guess this directly leads into the next part of the video, that by now, those of you who have watched my monthly mental health videos know what is up next. this is where like I talk about like my own like journey, you know, and like I will say, that one of like the big things for me, was learning to focus on the words on a shirt that my sister bought me like years ago, from the Till of Valhalla project. That says on one side, um, one day at a time. You know, and then on the like other side, that it talks about how that we may struggle, like it may get like hard. All of that is acceptable, but quitting is not. You know, um, like giving up. It's not. Um, and I think that a bit of that, now that I look back on it, and as I try to take everything like a one day like at a time. I try to take things like as they come. And for some of those like around me, they don't like understand quite like what I mean by that. Like why that I say that I can't just up and just like change certain things. I guess like a process for me. Because my mind does not function the same way that like it used to. Although that there are some things that are falling back to the way that they used to be, which I'll get into in like a little bit. But I want to get back to the whole shirt and the like inspiration and all that. So like yes, like that. One day like at a time, and like not giving up, right? Like I think like in some way, when I truly stop and I think about it, I think that had motivated me to come up with the personal a quote of mine that I have at the end of every single mental health like video, at the end of every single podcast that I do. Well, the main podcast of videos, like not the short like podcast clips, but the full like podcast. Um, like I think that that stood out to me. Like I think that I found great meaning, and like inspiration, and encouragement, and power, like in that, and so from that comes, my personal quote, about not giving up, about keep fighting, you know, about like not having to fight like alone, about like not like being like in this like I'm alone, like I mean, because I'm just gonna be like honest, I mean, like the last thing they was Tree actually wants, is to feel like we're in this like alone, because that makes things feel like a million times like worse than what they actually like are, you know, um, that, and then people who claim that they care but don't really like act like they like care. I mean, those things that they hurt, like in terms of trying to deal with like mental health, and so what I meant about some things falling back to the way they used to be, it's like Minel said, in his song like Matching, like that in his mind, like there's like this house, and like in our, like in each room is like a separate, like issue, like there's one room that is his safe room, and that and that's the room that he doesn't let anybody into, right? You know, um, well, with me, for those who may not know or who may not have watched the videos where I mentioned this, when I was a kid, I put up mental barriers. Like I put up walls. They were uh, fortified. We're talking about like locking things like behind doors, putting like chains on them. Putting like other doors in like front of them, like in locks and this and that. Like burning things like so deep, so that way like you don't really have to like think like about them or to focus on them because they hurt, so you internalize like a lot of things, you know, um, like I started to self like isolate like in my teenagers because I just couldn't deal with what was going on. You know, could I had used someone like I talked to? Yes. I mean, I did have like a therapist who I would go and see like every like a once in like a while. You know, um, like and for me, like that it's hard for me to open up to like people, like about things, but I'm doing it here because I think it's important, that I share what I go through, what I've been through, so others know that they're not like alone in this, you know, um, which is all the more like a reason, to uh, finalize the stuff for my memoir, and to get it out there so that people can like read it and to hopefully draw some like inspiration, from that. Um, and so like after the uh, a major car accident that should have taken my life, but God chose to spare me that day. Um, like all the walls, like all the foundations, that were keeping things like at bay, that they broke. So it's like me being able to like manage like a lot of like stress and this and that, that became so difficult. Being able to process like information and to retain it, to remember when things were due, like what things had to be done, when they had to be done. Like that all became so much more like a difficult, and I mean, to be honest, to this day, like I still have trust issues, and I know it's from the trauma that I went through when I was a kid, which is one reason why I'm going through trauma therapy. You know, to try to work through that, so that way I can get beyond that. And try to work on managing things, better. And learning how to change like my outlook, like like on like things, Um, but just like just like enough said, you know, that he wouldn't really want to save his younger self from anything that he like went to. Like he wouldn't want to feel bad for his younger self. Because well, that means he would have to feel bad. Uh, you know, for the like adult version. You know, as well as the younger version. And in doing so, it's like you do that and you could have like a totally different like like outcome. Like it's like it's like it'd be easy, just like override with the fact that everything that you went through like as a kid, and growing up, that it helped shape you, like it helped like mold you, like it helped turn you into the individual that you are now, and like for me, yeah, I mean, like I think like having the two separate like versions, the one who knew what was going on and took all the blunt, and the one who just didn't want to come to terms with what was going on, you know. Um, but like eventually, the gap between the two started to close, and it's like you become like more like aware of everything that's being done to you, like everything that's going on, like around you, like all of like the wrong, like all of the bad, and like a big part of my journey, yes, is coming to terms with the fact that a lot of the issues I have now, they have to do with things that went on when I was a kid. That it's from trauma that happened way back then. But a bigger part of that to me, you know, is like a learning to not just forgive those who have done me wrong, like over the like years, um, who have wronged me like in some kind of way, but to also like love them. You know how like the sermon, you know, um, that it talked about loving as God. You know, because God would love everyone, like even if they did something wrong, you know. So so like in order, to get beyond like all of the hurt and the pain, it's like it's like that. I feel like I have to be at a point where I can still love those who have wronged me, who have caused me harm, who have inflicted pain on me, who have uh, brought trauma on me in multiple ways, whether that's like physical, mental, like emotional, or like all of them. You know, um, I think that's like a big part of my journey. And like where I'm at now. You know, and so in closing, that I want to reiterate, you know, um, hey, take care of your self, build a support system, like one that you can count on and rely on, like even in some of your darkest days, you know. Um, you know, Perhaps maybe join up with like a support group or take a part in like a life skills group. But you know, remember that healing takes time, and it does not simply happen like overnight, you know, and definitely don't forget, that the things that have happened to us along our journey, in our life, that they don't have to define or can troll us. They don't have to have can troll like over our lives. You know, and above like everything else, don't give up. And just remember that there is hope. You know, um and so like that if you are watching this, I want to say that uh thank you. It's like appreciated. And share this with someone who you may know or may not know, but I know enough to know that they may need to hear, the message, you know. Um, you know, I mean, and and for like others, take that difficult stuff, and like ask somebody, of from your own heart, like if they're okay, like if they need help, like if you notice that they're acting strangely to you, they're acting out of character, like if you have a heart, that if you care at all, just uh talk to them. I mean, they may open up, they may not. They may just only like let you in on like a little bit, but you know just maybe by talking to them, that they feel like they're not alone in all of this, you know that there are some people out there that actually do care about them. Like they care about their well being. You know, they care about their state of mind. You know, um, and again, to those who are having like a rough time, who are trying to deal and navigate, through like mental health. Um, like I want to say don't give up. Don't throw in the towel. Like even when like it seems like things that they're not getting like any better. When it gets so like a difficult, that you just want to give up. But don't give up. Just don't stop fighting. Because like I will tell you this, there may be like a lot of people like out there who will not listen to you at all, who may turn a blind eye um to what you're uh going through, who may turn a blind eye to the fact that you're reaching out, that you're asking for help. But there will always be at least that one person who will take the time out to actually listen to you, and to be there for you to talk to, and to pour like everything like out on, and who will try to take you to get help if that is what you want, you know. So that's a big reason why I say like there is there is always hope, you know. Um, and until the next monthly mental health video, I hope that everyone stays safe, and look out for one another.